Hello and welcome back to Off Grid Style. I'm Nikki and I am so glad to have you here as always. We are going to be discussing a subject I haven't seen a lot about or heard a lot about from other places, and that is minimalist prepping. It takes the concept of minimalism and applies it to the prepping pantheon, if you will. So basically, it is the concept of reducing and taking out the complexity and the uncertainties and all of those things in prepping and keeping things streamlined, slim, and simple. So let's find out how to do that. Minimalist prepping is rooted in the concept and the idea of simplifying your emergency preparedness and readiness without compromising the essential elements that you need to survive. So we're going to look at the key concepts of this idea, including simplicity, philosophy, the key components, and the practical advantages of minimal prepping. Hey, while you're here, if you would do me a favor, please like, comment, and subscribe and all that good stuff. Thanks very much. So you're now saying, okay, Nick, what is minimalist prepping? Why have I not seen this plastered all over the place on YouTube? It's really, really a cool subject and thought process. Minimalist prepping is a concept and philosophy that centers around intentionally simplifying your preparedness efforts and your prepping itself. So in other words, buying multi-tools as an example instead of buying 5 or 6 different tools, buying that tactical pen that I've talked about several times that does many different things rather than buying one of each of the other types of things. So very, very minimal and less expensive, which is always a good thing, and keeping things simple. So this concept involves paring down, as I've said, your actual supplies and excessive supplies. Yes, 2 is 1 and 1 is none, but if you can get 2 of something that does 5 different functions instead of buying 5 different things times 2, you're saving money. Focusing on essential tools and skills, and adopting a mindset of quality over quantity. Don't buy 10 cheap water filters when you can buy 2 really good quality ones and have just as much preparedness. So in a nutshell, the minimalist prepper tries to achieve a streamlined, efficient, and sustainable approach to being ready. So among the key thought processes of this type of preparedness, it includes mindfulness, being aware and being critical of your needs, realistic understanding of potential threats, and conscious decision making in selecting your supplies and learning skills. As I've already said, there's a simplicity to your supplies, to your prepping gear. You choose carefully and thoughtfully. Think about this first before you just run out and purchase it. Make sure that what you're buying is actually going to serve more than one purpose for you, lightening your eventual load, possibly in that bug out bag, possibly in a car, or whatever the situation might be. So all these people out there that just amass tons and tons and tons of gear that all has a similar purpose, the minimalist prepper is one that thinks about their purchases, as I've already said, before they spend the money, and figures out how versatile something can be prior to purchasing it so that they don't end up with that ton of gear that you see most preppers with. This is actually, if you haven't already figured it out, for those of you like me who are on a budget and you have to truly consider your purchases prior to buying them, this is actually a great mindset because it ends up utilizing your funds, whatever they might be, in the most productive and useful way you possibly can. Then there is the key concept of skills mastery, or mastering survival skills. In the minimalist prepper mindset and way of thinking, mastering skills takes precedence over a ton of different gear, and this actually makes a whole lot of sense. Learning and truly mastering practical survival skills like first aid, navigation, fire making, shelter building, all become crucial in this mindset, because that way you ensure your ability to adapt and respond effectively in different situations without relying on 75 pounds of gear on your back. Another tenet of this mindset is mindful consumption. We live in a world, 100%, don't care who you are, don't care where you live, we live in a world today that is all about excess consumption. If we didn't, then we wouldn't be throwing away untold billions of dollars in wasted food every year. So this concept challenges that excess consumption and turns it around on its head and says, no, you will use the minimum amount that you possibly can, hence the name minimal in this whole video. The minimalist prepper mind process basically encourages you to be intentional with your purchases and your buying habits, ensuring that you purchase truly durable, high quality items of whatever they might be that serve specific purposes that you don't already have something for, rather than doing what we all do in the rest of society, and that is buying a whole bunch of cheap stuff, because that way we'll have lots and lots of quantity of it that we really don't need if we buy the good stuff to start with. So what are some of the components of minimalist prepping? Well, let's start out with the bug out bag. What is a minimalist bug out bag looking like? It is compact, it is well thought out, it has the bare minimum of what is needed, it is a cornerstone of minimally prepping, and it contains essential items only for short-term evacuation. You're not going to live out of this bug out bag for months and months and months. If you are, then you need new plans. It prioritizes versatility of the items that you have in that bug out bag and is lightweight. Another component is mindful food storage. The minimalist prepper, instead of amassing large quantities of, if you buy from those online stores, very expensive non-perishable food, minimalist preppers focus on sustainable and practical food options and food storage options. So they're growing their food already before SHTF occurs. And honestly, and I've said this before, everybody should. Everybody that believes they're a prepper should already be growing something. Like I said, pot, hydroponics is great, indoors, whatever you have to do, you should be learning how to grow food and how it reacts to your environment now. So this mindful component of food would include things like canned food, some canned food, dry staples, and a strategy and a beginning of renewable food sources. Another component of minimalist prepping is strategic tool selection. Each and every tool you pick out should serve at least one essential function. Not frilly-dilly, ooh, I need to have this just because it's cool. Essential function. That is where you're going to get your efficiency in your preparedness kit. Additionally, thinking this way, by making sure that you're making good sound quality decisions with your money and not spending all that money on things that you could make do with in other ways and other fashions, you'll end up possibly saving money over what you normally would have spent for all of this gear and all of this other stuff. Now we're going to talk about the practical advantages of minimalist prepping. And the first one that comes to mind is increased mobility. Because you have prepped minimally, because for instance, your bug out bag doesn't weigh 150 pounds and there's no way anybody could lift it, it allows you to be more mobile. You can be more able to be agile, to get away, to hide. You're not going to make all those noises, clank, 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 all those kind of things, if you practice the minimal prepping mindset. There is, of course, also the ease of the maintenance. You're not going to have to maintain as many things if you don't own as many things, and the things you purchased are such high quality and such good quality that you don't have to maintain them as much as you do the cheap stuff. Prime example, because you have fewer items and better quality items, you're not going to have to spend as much time taking care of those items, mending those items, whatever it is you have to do with the cheaper version of those items. And that means you'll have more time for skills, for reconnaissance, for whatever other things you really need to be concentrating on doing besides sharpening a knife or whatever the case might be. So in the realm of prepping, this minimalism concept truly offers a viable alternative that pushes simplicity, mindfulness, practicality, and great for the budget, which I know because, everybody comments, I'm in that same boat with you, and it will help you and help your pocket not having to spend as much and purchasing good quality items when you do need them. So the keys, again, to minimalist prepping are practical, versatile, the least amount you can possibly get away with that you have to have, and skills. Learning the basic skills of survival, of wilderness survival that you need to have to survive. If you have that, then all of these are secondary. Well, what did you think? I thought this was awesome. I had stumbled upon this a while back, and I'd made a note to myself that I wanted to do a video on this. And y'all and your comments, I thank you very much, are the reason why I went back. I was like, gosh, I know this is somewhere. I know I wrote this down. I took some notes. I wanted to learn more about it. And you guys commenting on, your budgets and those kinds of things. And hey, I'm in the same boat. We're planning on moving completely off grid. We are, hanging on to every penny we can. But thank you again, because you're the reason that this video got made. And I hope you liked it. Please let me know. Comment, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. And I'll see you again soon.